What they need to do to plan for storm season, plan for a hurricane. Biggest thing is, first part of a plan, decide whether you're gonna stay or whether you're gonna leave, because that determines what follows. Who you're gonna be with, who you're gonna notify, and the things that you need to have prepared throughout the year. I think the biggest thing helping your aging parents is navigating through the internet, going on, showing them what the evacuation zone is, show them different routes of how they can leave their home and get to the shelter, or if they're going to go to a loved one's home, the route that they can take and the items that they need to prepare. The median age of Florida is a lot higher than many other states, so we really want to make sure we push this message to make sure everyone get prepared.
Preparing is very similar for everybody in that everybody should have a go kit. I am a big proponent of everyone should have a kit packed and ready. When we think about seniors, one of the things that's really important for seniors to prepare is to have their medications ready. A lot of seniors are on routine medication, routine vitamins and supplements, and so it's really important that they focus on that medication go kit and have it ready to go. At a bare minimum, they should have 7 days. We want them to be 14, 30 days worth of medication in their kits ready to go. You know, it's really important to be focused on everything they take. Even if it's just the Tylenol for your headache or the ibuprofen for the normal aches and pains of life. Have those things ready in a kit, so in emergency, you grab your bag, you're ready to go. So if you have a senior in your life, get them a duffel bag, get them a book bag, get them something, and then start having them think through the process of what are the things that you use every day? What do you need to keep you safe? What do you need to keep you happy and healthy? And then start planning ahead. Okay, what can we put in that kit that will get you 7 days, 14 days worth of comfort or health? And then that's really a good place to start. And it's just a conversation about how'd your day go today? What did you use? And then start thinking about should that be in our go kit?
So you have now completed your emergency plan for your family. How about a plan for this family member? Protect your pets during a disaster by including them in your family's emergency plan. Start by making your pet a disaster kit. Put all paperwork into a large Ziploc bag, including a picture of you and your pet, your contact information, vaccination information, and special care instructions. In addition, you should pack certain items to help your pet during the emergency. A 7-day supply of food with bowls, a travel crate, and your pet's favorite toy. Remember, shelters are the place of last resort. Your plan should include being far away from the disaster's epicenter. But if you do find yourself at the shelter, know the rules. Once at the shelter, your pet will be placed in a designated animal section. This is for your pet's safety, as well as other shelter residents. Knowing the shelter rules helps everyone stay safe during an emergency. For more information about shelters, their location, rules, and how to get ready for a disaster, go to HCFL.gov/StaySafe. Calm waters are a part of Florida's allure, but that can change quickly with the approach of tropical weather. Living in coastal areas makes residents susceptible to storm surge. Structures in Evacuation Zone A are at risk when storms threaten to push enough water inland to prompt an evacuation. Zone B is 11 to 17 feet above sea level, but homes here can lie up to 4 miles inland from Tampa Bay. A storm like Hurricane Katrina can push water to the top of Zone C in our area. All residents in RVs or mobile homes should evacuate regardless of zone if any storm-related evacuation is called. Have your hurricane kit ready and plan to seek shelter outside of evacuation zones during an emergency. Remember, evacuate tens of miles, not hundreds. Visit HCFL.gov/StaySafe.
I'm Hillsborough County Fire Rescue PIO Rob Herron. I'm here to talk to you about 3 safety guidelines for generator use during hurricane season. Number 1, follow manufacturers' recommendations on how to properly operate your generator and duplicate those efforts within your household. Make sure multiple adults in your household know how to safely operate your generator. Number 2, never fill the generator with fuel, gasoline while it's running. In fact, it's best to turn it off, let it cool down completely before you fill it back up. And number 3, keep it a safe distance away from your house while you're operating it. do not operate it inside the home, even inside a garage. We recommend 20 feet away from the house, and get it away because carbon monoxide is given off when generators are in use, and that is a silent killer. That gas can get inside your house, and you won't even know you're breathing it in.
It's very important to prepare before a storm gets here. That's not the time to start making a plan. Right now is the time to know what your risk is, what your plans are for your family, how to stay informed, and how to get involved and volunteer so that you can help your community before the storm gets here. Take preparedness seriously, as in these past couple years, we never know how a disaster will evolve. If you wait till the last minute, that's when everybody's in there wanting to get those last little bit of supplies. Take your time and making sure that you have all the exact items that you need to put in your emergency kit. That should be able to support you for up to at least 7 days. It's important to know your evacuation zone. If we get into a situation where a decision has to be made that you're in danger from the surge coming in that's created by a storm event, that you know when your zone is called that it's time for you to go. Preparedness, preparedness, preparedness. You never know what the hazard is going to be, what the event is going to be, but if you take those basic steps that we talked about, it can apply to any hazard that impacts Hillsborough County, and your family will stay safe.
Hi, my name is Roberto Torres, and I'm the owner for the Blind Tiger. And these are my personal tips on how to prepare your business for hurricane season. The first thing that I do is that I take a fireproof bag and put any sort of important documents like tax returns, business licenses, certificates of insurance, and things that perhaps bank statements that could get lost or damaged in the middle of a storm, so that I can have it readily available once the storm passes in case that we need to file any sort of claims. At the same time, that we want to make sure that all our operations are safe and secure. We also want to make sure that our employees have a business continuity plan. They also accrue some of our payroll to make sure that they get paid through the hurricane. My last tip is that we usually tend to stock up a non-perishable inventory so that once the storm passes, we can get back to business as quickly as possible.
All statistics show that when businesses are back in business after a disaster, then the economic environment and the community gets back in order as well. The key to recovery is the preparation. That preparation consists of many factors, primarily making sure that you have a plan. That plan includes where your employees are going to be, making sure that their home is safe, insurance, to make sure that your insurance policies are in order. It really helps if you have a place where you keep the documents. Helps with the preparation in any type of disaster loans that you may be eligible for afterwards. At the SBDC, business owners can come and make an appointment with consultants. It's by appointment only, but you can make an appointment to go through your plan, talk about your plan. If you do not have a plan, we can assist you with creating one in the event of a disaster.
Some of the resources that are available to help you get back to business as soon as possible is the Small Business Administration loans. Those loans will cover any gaps that insurance does not cover or FEMA funding does not cover. You can receive loans for physical damage or economic injury as well. And those will help you to ensure that you can get your services back up, get your staff in, make sure you can repair your surroundings and the structure of your buildings. So again, take the time now to prepare and visit Hillsborough County StaySafe recovery page to learn all the resources available to get back to normal as soon as possible.
If you're a mobile home resident, your home is manufactured to minimal standards. So what that means is we're talking a small breeze, light showers, you're fine. However, tropical storm force winds obviously is a different matter. Therefore, if you get the evacuation order, you must evacuate.
Susie. All right, we got everybody? Y'all ready to rock and roll? Yeah. Let's get it.
Guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, I'm Tim Dudley, Hillsborough County Office of Emergency Management Director. Speaking today will be Hillsborough County Fire Chief Jason Doherty, Bonnie Wise, Hillsborough County Administrator, Ken Hagan, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister, Tampa Mayor Jane Castor, Temple Terrace Mayor Andy Ross, Plant City Mayor Nathan Kilton, Hillsborough County School Superintendent Van Ayers, U.S. Representative Kathy Castor, Andy Mayor and Mary Lou Carn with Tampa Electric Company. Also joining us this morning is Hillsborough County Commissioner Harry Cohen, Hillsborough County Commissioner Gwen Myers, Hillsborough County Commissioner Christine Miller, Hillsborough County Commissioner Joshua Wastel, and Hart Chief of Staff, Safety and Security, Richard Campbell, State Representative Danny Alvarez, State Senator Jay Collins, Commissioner Kemp, Property Appraisers Bob Henriquez, Representative Diane Hart, State's Attorney Susie Lopez, and Tampa Fire Rescue Chief Tripp. After this briefing, our team will be available for any questions. Due to the likely threatening impacts from Hurricane Milton, Hillsborough County has ordered an evacuation of Zone A and Zone B, which includes all mobile homes and manufacturers' homes across Hillsborough County. Again, evacuation Zone A and Zone B to include all mobile and manufactured homes across Hillsborough County. The order goes into effect starting at 2:30 p.m. today. Residents must be in a safe place by Wednesday at 7 a.m. So I want to see you get everything buttoned up by Tuesday night, be in a safe place, because during the last storm, we saw the impacts came in around 11 o'clock midnight while folks were sleeping, and you woke up to the impacts of the storm. So I want you in a safe place and have all your preparations done by Tuesday night. And when we call this evacuation, that is in order right now, I want you to get started, move safely. And as you prep your homes, you have today and some time tomorrow, but move with intention. It's time to start implementing your evacuation plans, preparing your family, your pets, your property, and your businesses. Do it right now while the weather's still clear and you still have time. When it's time, before those impacts come, you need to be out of the evacuation zone. This storm is a serious storm. The EOC is at a level 1 activation over the past 2 weeks for a response to Helene. We've been activated, operating at a level 2 to do recovery and response for Helene. We've suspended some of the resources for Helene right now to ensure that all those resources are ready to go back out after the initial impacts. The EOC is postured. We have ordered additional resources to assist before the storm, and we have them queued to assist after the storm to ensure that we can respond accordingly. Help us help you. If you're in the evacuation zone, A and B, or a mobile manufactured home, now it's time to start the evacuation. We do have emergency shelters available. We have about 9 shelters that we've opened, and we have additional shelters on the ready in the event this storm continues to adapt and change on us. So we're able to meet and adapt to any scenario. Continue to stay informed, signing up for HCFL Alert. Make sure you know the latest orders or any changes that we may put out for you. Make sure your family and friends have all their supplies ready to go, to include pets. Make sure you have enough medication, and make sure you have all of your important papers. As we're finding after Helene, going through this recovery process is tedious. I've met some of the folks out there. It's been a long haul. It's been frustrating. Folks are tired, but they're in good spirits. I saw a lot of resiliency out in the community. They're starting some of their own feeding and support within their community. So that's that extra partner that we like to see up here, is the public being resilient and also contributing to the process. Residents should know their evacuation zone. Go to HCFL.gov/StaySafe. Find out what your evacuation zone is right now. Look up where A and B is, and then we only want you to go out of the A and B zone. You don't have to leave the county. The roads are very busy coming in this morning. I've also talked to some of the folks that's activated here. Some of their families are choosing to go other places. But you do not have to leave the county. We have enough shelters for you. Check with your family and friends. I just need you to move out of Zone A and Zone B. And if you're in a mobile manufactured home, make sure you get out of there because we may see more wind for this particular event than we did for Helene. So make sure if you can't access online, we have a phone number for you. It's the HC Storm information line. It's 833-HC-STORM or 833-427-8676. Again, 833-427-8676, HC Storm. Next, I'll be followed by Hillsborough County Fire Chief Jason Doherty.
Good morning. Thank you, Tim. And I'm just going to reemphasize some of the points that Tim made. I also want to recognize all the folks behind me, outstanding collaboration and partners with everybody in the community and everybody, all the leadership up here today. So thank you all for being here. As Tim said, Hillsborough County remains ready. Our partners and the cities are ready as well. We are fully prepared along with our partners to respond to Hurricane Milton's threat to our community. This storm is forecasted to become a major hurricane and will potentially bring life-threatening storm surge to our region, damaging winds, torrential rain, and flooding. Zones A and Zone B residents, especially those along the coast and areas that are prone to flooding, please leave, please heed the warning. If you live in Zone A or Zone B, you should put your evacuation plan into action now and move to a safe location immediately. You must be in a safe place by 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I cannot stress enough to our residents and our businesses the importance of leaving the evacuation zones. As we saw during Hurricane Helene, the storm surge threat to our region is high. It is very real. It is very dangerous. We ordered evacuations for zones A and B for a very good reason. If you remain there, you could die. My men and women could die trying to rescue you. They are heroes, but please do not put them in that situation. Help them by leaving Zone A and B today. If you delay until the storm arrives, emergency responders may not be able to reach you until the threat passes. You may be on your own. Please continue to stay alert. Visit HCFL.gov/StaySafe and monitor local news outlets as well as Hillsborough County social channels at Hillsborough FL. Take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors, and be safe. Thank you for your time, and I would like to introduce our County Administrator, Bonnie Wise.
Thank you, Chief Doherty, and good morning, everyone. I'm Bonnie Wise, and I'm the County Administrator. And as Chief and Tim said, we are continuing to closely monitor and prepare for Hurricane Milton, and we are taking it very seriously. While the exact location where the storm will make landfall remains uncertain, we are working to make sure everyone is prepared for what will be a major hurricane making landfall in Florida, with the threat of extreme storm surge, heavy winds, rain, and inland flooding. As we've seen, every storm is unpredictable. Don't rely on just the main forecast line, and don't be complacent. The effects will be felt far from the storm center. Prepare now. In anticipation of the storm, all Hillsborough County offices and facilities, including all parks and libraries, will be closed Tuesday, October 8th and Wednesday, October 9th for regular operations to allow staff to focus on emergency response to Hurricane Milton. There's still time to prepare. Hillsborough County's Disaster Preparedness Guide provides valuable information about our shelters and more. It is available via HCFL.gov/StaySafe in English and in Spanish and contains comprehensive information on how to prepare for any hazard. I also again want to share this important phone number, which Tim mentioned previously, and it is also particularly important for anyone who needs transportation out of evacuation zones. Call the main information line and helpline for the storm, 833-HC-STORM, which is 833-427-8676. Please write that number down. Should you lose digital access, it is the best way for the latest information. The county's 5,000 employees are ready again to stand alongside our residents before, during, and after this storm. We work throughout the year preparing for emergencies like Hurricane Milton. We identify the greatest needs and assign employees to those needs regardless of their regular duties. We also continue to work extensively with partner agencies, including the National Weather Service, TECO, the city's Water Management District, HART, and many others. We will get through this together. Please listen to the instructions of state and local governments, local agencies, and other trusted, verified sources. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite to the podium Board of County Commissioners Chair Ken Hagan.
Thank you, Bonnie, and good morning. I'm Commissioner Ken Hagan, Chair of the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. I want to first of all thank Director Dudley, Chief Dougherty, County Administrator Wise, and Sheriff Chronister for their leadership and tireless efforts both during Hurricane Helene and now Milton. Hillsborough County is better prepared because of your work. I also want to thank county employees, our partners, and so many nonprofit organizations who are out there continuing to make sure our residents and businesses are ready for this storm, ensured that they were safe during the last storm, and will make sure that we remain on a path to recovery. As we witnessed during the height of Hurricane Helene, Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and our Office of Emergency Management have mastered storm response. They plan extensively for emergencies, particularly storms, are ready for any challenge, and are in constant contact with our local, state, and national partners. But we need you to help them. The most important message we can say to our residents is to have a plan and be prepared to execute it. I can't be more clear about this. If you're told to evacuate, leave. If you stay, you're putting yourself and your family and pets at risk. And evacuating doesn't mean that you have to leave the state or even go across the state. Often it means just going to family or friends that are 20 or 30 miles inland. We know it's not something that you necessarily want to do, but it's the most important thing to do. I also want to take just a moment to talk about electric vehicles. For owners that live in flood-prone areas, there are important life-saving things to consider. Do everything you can to maintain a 100% battery charge. Know your vehicle's range. Understand how far your vehicle can go on a full battery. Avoid, during an evacuation, avoid charging stations if possible. There will likely be long lines and likely power outages. And most important, never drive through floodwater. Water and EV batteries do not mix. Water will not only damage your battery, but will likely lead to a damaging fire. Combustion can occur in an instant or manifest weeks or months after exposure to salt water. Lithium-ion batteries that have flooded or been exposed to salt water, or any flammable chemicals for that matter, should be disposed of at community collection centers or household hazardous waste events. Please continue to monitor updated weather forecasts, official government information, and media reports. Thank you and stay safe. Now I'd like to invite Sheriff Chronister to come forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you to you, our county administrator, and the entire county commission, along with the relationships that we all share here today. This county benefits from this collaborative effort. Be fortunate and know how grateful we are that you live in Hillsborough County. There's a big cone of uncertainty, and that's why they call it the cone of uncertainty, from Crystal River all the way to Fort Myers. But regardless, we are going to feel some severe effects from this storm. It's just what type of effects? Is it more rain? Is it more flooding? Is it more storm surge? It really doesn't matter at this point. What matters is that you have a plan in place and you implement that plan. We know it's uncomfortable. We know it's an inconvenience. Every law enforcement and first responder, regardless of where you live in this phenomenal community, will be there to assist you, to assist with that evacuation. If it's directing traffic to help you get out and later on back in, we will be there. We brought in an overt presence to make sure that we'll take care of your belongings. We will safeguard your homes as well as we can until we can't anymore. We're asking you to safeguard your families. Yes, this stinks. We know that. And it comes on the heels where a lot of us are still healing and recovering from Hurricane Helene. But if you safeguard your families, you'll be alive. We're going to lose electric. We know that. We know if you move outside that evacuation area, it doesn't mean you're not going to be uncomfortable. You may lose electric. And again, that's going to stink. That's uncomfortable. We're in Florida. It's warm. But you'll be alive. There's not a need to panic. There's just a need to be prepared. The great news is we have almost 48 hours to do it. Take advantage of this time. If you need sandbags, get some sandbags. You need those essential items. You need to relocate your loved ones. We're making it every resource that we can with this collaborative effort will be available. Again, to share one common goal. Common goal is to keep you and your families alive. Help us do that. The big difference between this storm and Hurricane Helene is the fact that between all the first responders and law enforcement, the sustained winds never went above 40. We never had to suspend service. We feel pretty confident, regardless of the track of this storm, that that's not going to be the case this time. When you make that phone call and help's not available, help's not coming, I can't imagine what that feeling would feel like. But I'm asking you to not have to feel that feeling, because we know most likely with the way the trajectory of the storm, if it jogs a little bit here and there, that there's going to be a time where we're going to have to suspend service. First responders and law enforcement aren't going to be able to respond. Not because they don't want to, just because we have to keep them safe and keep them available for when the storm passes and we go back out. There's a whole nother phase of this, right? This recovery phase. Now is the preparation phase. Please, I can't underscore enough to help us by being prepared and implementing that plan. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Mayor Jane Castor. First and foremost, we are still reeling from Helene. I've been here my entire life, and that is the most damaging storm that I have ever experienced. And now we have Milton on the way that isn't going to just be a water event. It's going to be a surge event. It's going to be a rain event. It's going to be a wind event. If it's stays on the predicted trajectory, we are in for over a century storm here with Milton. You've heard it from everyone. We need you to prepare, and we need you to follow the evacuation orders. We saw what happened with the people that stayed with Helene. The first responders, midnight, as soon as that surge came in, which I remind you was at a low tide, when that came in, we started getting the calls, hundreds of calls from people saying, I made a mistake, I need you to come get me. We can't do that, especially if you're going from a 6 to 7 foot storm surge to a 10 to 12 foot storm surge. You're not going to survive that. So please heed those evacuation warnings and just go out now. There's a listing of available hotel rooms that are out of the evacuation sites by the Tampa Bay Hotel Associations. So you can find those. There are going to be shelters that are available. There's going to be transportation. So please, please heed those warnings. In the city of Tampa, we've made it as simple as possible to stay up to date with the information. Just text one word, Tampa Ready, to 888-777. And for those alerts in Spanish, Tampa Lista, 888-777. And we will give you real-time information on evacuation, on shelter availability. We have 3 sites open right now with sandbags. We handed out, I believe, 600,000 sandbags way back, or I'm sorry, 60,000 sandbags out for Helene. And we have given out somewhere around 1,200 just in the last 2 days. So those are available as well. We are making them as fast as we can. The electric vehicles, we shouldn't have to repeat this, but you're going to hear it from everybody up here in the podium. People had their houses burned down because they left one of the electric vehicles, a golf cart, something in their garage, and it exploded and caused devastating fires. So please pull those vehicles out of the flood zones. City of Tampa, we are opening up our parking garages. You can store your cars up high and dry for free. So please do that now, again, while we aren't under the effects of Helene. So we want you all to be safe. The best element of living in the Tampa Bay area is everybody you see behind us. Just about every single person, I have their cell phone number, they have mine, and we have been in touch not only through Helene, but we're going to be in touch all the way through Milton as well. So know that your elected officials on the federal, state, and local level are all working together to provide the resources that you need and to also keep you safe. But you have that responsibility as well. This is the real deal here with Milton. So please heed those warnings. As I often say, if you want to take on Mother Nature, she wins 100% of the time. Heed the warnings and evacuate. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Temple Terrace Mayor Andy Ross, and I don't want to repeat everything that's been said, but I do want to say a couple of things, and that is the common theme here is we want people to evacuate if they're in an evacuation zone. As a Floridian, I understand the resistance to evacuation. I hear it all the time, and I'm sure those of you who are Floridians have been here a while, you've heard it too. And that is, people feel secure. They want to stay near their belongings. They want to stay near their home to protect it. They feel safe there. Most people feel the safest in their home. That's certainly understandable. And I hear a lot that people say, well, I've never left before and I've always been okay. And you are okay until you're not okay, right? And every storm is different. You might have been through this before in your home and been just fine, but this could be the storm where you're not. This could be the storm that takes off your roof, and then now you have problems because now your home is destroyed, and there you are exposed. This could be the storm that knocks a tree down onto you. Right? This could be the storm that brings floodwaters that you've never had before. Every storm is different. So just because you've been okay before does not mean you're going to be okay every time, right? And there are people who died last week who probably stayed home before and were always okay, and now they're not. So the other thing that we hear is, I don't want to go to a shelter. Nobody wants to go to a shelter. Everybody up here understands that completely. However, would you rather be in a shelter where you have food, air conditioning, electricity, the ability to charge your cell phone and let your loved ones know that you're okay, and do that for a day or two? Or would you rather run the risk of being in your home when your roof comes off or the tree comes down or something like that? So I understand, as a Floridian, we all understand the resistance, but we are imploring you to please obey the evacuation orders. There is nothing more heart-wrenching to those of us in public service than the unnecessary and avoidable loss of life. We cannot protect our community from being damaged by nature, but we can prevent almost all of the deaths that occur from these storms. Not all of them, sometimes there's freak accidents, but almost all of them are avoidable. And so we know the storm is coming. You have time now. We've given you resources. If you don't know, if you can't get there, you can call anyone. Anybody in this room can connect you with transportation. We can connect you with the ability to get shelter. Please Don't wait till tomorrow afternoon and they say, well, I'll think about it, and then tomorrow afternoon you want to go. Well, please, let's take action now. Be safe. No matter what happens to your property, things can always be rebuilt, they can be replaced, but you cannot. So thank you.
Morning. I'm Nate Kilton, Mayor of the great city of Plant City. I can promise you that our government is working as hard as it possibly can to make sure that we're prepared for this event. We have a phenomenal team in Plant City, starting with our city manager, Bill McDaniel. And I just want to thank everybody else behind me for the strong collaboration that we have in Hillsborough County. That being said, it can't be reinforced enough that you need to make plans for yourself to be safe. I think there's a temptation in Plant City, because we're a little more inland, that it's not going to be as bad. Well, this is going to be a different event, and we already have very saturated ground. There's going to be a lot more trees down. If you live in a low-lying area or a mobile home, please, please, please take the time to evacuate to a safer place. As it's been said, we're not going to be able, or likely not going to be able, to get to you when the winds are over 40 miles an hour. We just cannot put our first responders at risk. After the event, I think there's a temptation for people to get out on the roads and look around and see what's happening. Please don't do that. Keep the roads clear for our first responders. Keep them clear for debris removal and for the utility companies to get things back online. If you do need to leave your homes for any reason, please be careful. Last time that we had some of these events, I can't tell you how many severe traffic incidents we had and fatalities because people were not paying attention to flashing lights and those types of things. There's down power lines. There's no reason to be out all over town when the event's over. These events are stressful, we know that, and these are the times where it brings out the best in people and the worst in people. And government can only do so much. We're going to do everything that we possibly can to keep people safe and to get utilities back on, but you've got friends and neighbors, and make this a time for you not to be at your worst, but to be at your best. If there's somebody around that might be elderly or infirm that you can give a little help to, do that. Make it an opportunity for our communities to come together and to make it something to remember and how we respond and how we coalesce and galvanize. These trying times can also be outstanding times when we do those things. So that's my challenge to you, is to make sure that you're safe and also be gracious and patient with others and take care of those that are going to have a little bit of a difficult time taking care of themselves.
Hello, I'm U.S. Representative Kathy Castor. Thank you to County Administrator Bonnie Wise, the Board of County Commissioners, Sheriff Cronster, and the mayors, and all of our partners here today. I'm here to assure you that your federal partners are fully engaged in the preparation for Hurricane Milton across the state of Florida. Over 7,000 federal personnel have been mobilized. This is one of the largest mobilizations of federal personnel and partners and resources in recent history. That includes pre-positioning meals, pre-positioning water, tarps, all the resources that we know that we're going to need in the future. The important message right now is to listen to the local authorities. When they say, if you're in an evacuation zone, you need to plan to depart now, you should depart now. I know we're grappling with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene as well. And to all of our neighbors and all of the partners here who have been out helping everyone recover from Helene, that is going to continue. But right now, it's about safeguarding your personal safety, looking out for your neighbors. We're talking especially about the coastal communities from Town and Country in Northwest Hillsborough County, Bayport Colony, around to Baycrest, to Dana Shores, the parts that flooded, you should be evacuating now. Down around the city of Tampa and the Inner Bay Peninsula from West Shore, down to Port Tampa City. If you live near MacDill Air Force Base, up across Davis Island, Harbor Island, Palmetto Beach, around the coast in Hillsborough County, down to Apollo Beach and Ruskin. If you flooded, you need to be planning your evacuation now, safeguarding your belongings and checking your flood zone on the Hillsborough County website. This is a special community. We are resilient. We're a loving and caring community. And I ask you all to look out for your neighbors with special needs. Who is the older neighbor on your street that needs to relocate? Who is the disabled veteran that served our country, it's now time to serve them and come to their rescue and make sure that they're connected with resources so they stay safe. Everyone, that is the first priority now, and I want to thank the county administrator again. Thank you.
Good morning, Van Ayers, Superintendent, Hillsborough County Public Schools. Made the decision yesterday in collaboration with Hillsborough County. We are closed, obviously, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. But just wanted to, as I drove in this morning, our teachers, so what's happening right now, our teachers and school-based staff are preparing their classrooms for evacuees today. So principals and assistant principals who man the shelters, just shout out to them. Our bus drivers who are transporting residents to shelters, our student nutrition staff who feed those evacuees, and our custodians and maintenance staff who prepare our campuses. Safety of our students, staff, and community is always our highest priority. So to all of our employees, our 23,000 Hillsborough County Public Schools strong employees, thank you for what you've done to help prepare our campuses today, and take care of yourselves over the next few days and stay safe. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mary Lou Karn. I am with Tampa Electric. We are prepped and ready to respond to Hurricane Milton and restore power as quickly and safely as possible as conditions permit. We prepare all year long at Tampa Electric for severe weather, and we have a comprehensive storm plan in place that's been activated, and we feel confident that we will have the resources and be able to respond to outages as quickly and safely as possible. The impacts of Hurricane Milton may result in widespread and extensive power outages, and we urge customers to be prepared for that possibility. We are securing thousands of utility workers to come and assist us after the storm when it is safe to help assess damage and restore power, and they will join our local crew members to work around the clock until everyone's power is back on. One of the things that's very important at Tampa Electric is safety, so I'd like just to share a few safety tips with you to help you stay safe. If you or a loved one rely on electric-powered medical equipment to sustain your life, we ask that you please have a backup plan in place for that equipment or a backup power supply. If you're evacuating, especially due to flooding, please turn off the electricity at your main breaker while your home is still dry, which helps protect you and the electrical system. Never touch your breaker box or any electrical equipment if your hands are wet or you are standing in water. Unplug or turn off non-essential electrical equipment and small appliances to protect them from any power surges that might come along. If you have an electric vehicle, please be sure to park it away from areas that may flood. Stay out of flood waters as they hide energized lines and other hazards. And definitely avoid down power lines. All down power lines should be considered energized. If you see a down power line, warn others to stay away and call 911 immediately. And if you're using a generator, you need to put it in a dry outdoor space away from your home, your windows, your doors, your air conditioning vents, and never run that while it is raining or wet or in any kind of water. Lastly, do not plug your generator into your home circuits, but plug your individual appliances into your generator. We have a lot more safety tips available for you on electricity on our website at TampaElectric.com storm, and it's just most important to remember that water and electricity do not mix. And that's it. I ask everybody to please stay safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. A lot of great information. Make sure that you check out all these organizations. You can go to their website as well as the county website. Also like to thank all the teams that are currently working throughout the Tampa Bay area in the emergency operations centers. So shout out to those folks who are making sure that everything is coordinated and collaborative across the entire Tampa Bay area. All right, thank you. Stay safe. We have any questions?
Tim, I have something just to I wanted to just announce, because I just received this, that with conditions expected to worsen this week, the Tampa International Airport has decided to suspend airport operations for all commercial and cargo flights at 9 a.m. Tuesday. All flight operations will continue through the last flight tonight. So for additional information, if you're leaving after tonight, you need to call your airline and make other arrangements, or perhaps look for an airport in the eastern part of the state. But the airport's going to be closing at the end of business tonight.
Good job.